So I want to do a quick reaction to this interview Nicki Minaj did with Joe Budden, where she condemned black men and specifically black male podcasters who are usually a part of the black manosphere, who embarrass black women online, who rate black women's looks, and who talk about black women's lace fronts and so on. So let's get into it.
Dear black men, I fucking love you.
Fine.
I love you. I love you.
And I'm already going to stop right there. First of all, Joe said finally. And it is so annoying to me when black men act like there isn't an army of black women man stroking them. Like, can we please stop capping black men? It is always a black woman celebrity coming out saying how much she loves black men. Black women celebrities, they're always doing some type of tribute to black men. I know there was one from My Black is Beautiful. It's still on YouTube where they're talking about how much they love black men. Tina Knowles and all of the black women who participated in the docuseries for black men. Taraji Henson, she said pretty much the same thing Nicki Minaj is saying here on the BET Awards. Carrie Hilson wore a whole damn t-shirt professing her love for black men or her loyalty to black men, something like that. Not to mention there are several channels here on YouTube that advocate for black men. So can we please stop acting like they don't get any love? Like, can we please stop the cap? Let's continue.
Dear black men, I appreciate you. Dear black men, you are needed and wanted.
Okay, you know, I completely understand that a celebrity like Nicki Minaj, I understand that she has to say things a certain way. She can't get up here and just be like, fuck black men. She can't say that without it being a ton of backlash. So, on one hand, I understand why she's giving this disclaimer. But on the other hand, I really hate that black women in general feel like we have to coddle black men and overemphasize our love for them every time we criticize them or hold them accountable for something that they do wrong. There is always an I don't hate black men disclaimer. But notice how you don't see a lot of that when black men criticize black women. They just get right into it. And the thing that black women need to understand, and I had to learn this the hard way, the disclaimers don't matter anyway. If you are truly holding black men accountable, then you're going to be labeled a black male basher. You have to pretty much pander to them, and everything you say has to be in their favor for them to give you grace. So keep that in mind.
And dear black men, you are the only men on this planet that as little boys you don't get to be nurtured and treated like a child, like a baby, like someone's thing that needs to be loved and hugged and kissed and told that we love you.
Okay. Now, I do agree here that black boys are treated like men by larger society, i.e. white people. They are adultified as children, as boys. And maybe that's who Nicki is referring to. But the black community, and especially black women, they definitely infantilize black men. Black women coddle black men. We treat them like children forever, and even more so than we do black girls. Part of the reason black men are so effeminate is because black mothers baby them too much. And they tend to get stuck in that perpetual state of boyhood. They keep that juvenile behavior. That's why all the rappers have little in front of their names. That's why the movie Baby Boy is called Baby Boy. And they have that image of Jody's big ass in his black mama's womb. Everything about black men shows you that they are infantilized in the black community. And even black men in the manosphere, the more honest ones, they have either said that or alluded to that as well. So what Nicki is saying does not apply to how black men are treated in the black community.
It's true.
So I will never be on that side of the room about bashing black men. I'm never going to be on that side of the room. So I want to just make sure I let black men know for the rest of their lives. I'm not one of those. I love you. And we need you, and a couple black idiots don't spoil the motherfucking bunch. I'm not gonna categorize all black men based on the couple dumb ones who every time they get, when they get on, they never, they don't never fuck with their race, or they on TikTok dissing black women. I'm not categorizing y'all based on a couple dumb people.
Okay, what Nicki is missing here is that there's a critical mass of black men who are vocal about their disdain for black women online. And there's also a critical mass who are silent and do nothing and who are actually supporting it. This is why Kevin Samuels is so huge, because most black men think like him. Obviously, he got as far as he's gotten because of his black female support as well. But just look in his comment section. Most of his followers are undeniably black men. So it's not just the few, Nicki, it is the majority. Some are just louder than others. And I especially think this is true with colorism. And I've said several times on my channel, I think most black men are colorists. I think most black people are colorists. And I think Nicki deep down knows it's the majority of black men. And that's why it's so noticeable to her and she's speaking out about it. Because she knows that even though it's just a few on the mic, they have very large audiences of black men who agree with them. Any black woman who doesn't know that or doesn't acknowledge that when they see this stuff online is either in denial or they're not being honest.
No.
Well,
because so many of you guys didn't fucking feel loved and nurtured when at the most important time in your lives. And then you get to this place where it's like, and then you get to a place and on social media now where it seems like all women are saying, I want money, I want this, fuck you nigga, fuck that. No.
Yo, I
don't feel it. No, it's I love you.
Now all black women are gold diggers, or most of us are gold diggers online talking about how much we want money. Do y'all remember how black women, the whole black community, reacted to Saweetie saying that if your man don't buy you a Birkin bag, throw him away, whatever she said? Black women are some of the main ones online talking about how money doesn't matter. It's only been recently that black women have been talking about hypergamy and having standards and wanting men with money. And even then, let's not act like platforms like mine don't get a ton of pushback from other black women. So I personally think black men are reacting to the minority of black women who finally have standards, who have higher standards. This is not something they're used to hearing from black women, so they're sensitive to it. And y'all could bring up that old ass TLC No Scrub song. No, I can give you tons of other entertainment of black women talking about how strong and independent they are and how they don't need no man. And notice, like, how can it be both? One minute we're gold diggers and we're using men for money, and the next we're independent and we don't need no man. Which is it?
I love you. That's where we should be at.
I love this. I love that you're spewing this. I love that this is the message.
I'm talking.
And notice how Joe is like, oh, I love that this is the message. I love that this is what you're spewing. Not, I love black women back. I love you too, black women. I love black women. And see, this is why I say, black women, you get little to nothing in return for man-stroking black men. So don't do it. Look, man-stroke your individual man. That's it. Don't be on here man-stroking black men, non-black men, no race of man. Man-stroke your man only.
About men that feel the need that they can comment on women's bodies and keep saying what we like and what they don't like. Who are you? This ain't about you. One more thing, I saw somebody put on their blog that, what is the man, Kevin Samuels says Kevin Samuels rates Nicki Minaj. First of all, Kevin Samuels rated me Joe a 9, right? And they put on the blog that they tried to put the little part where me and Kevin was talking about the 7.5 and tried to say Kevin rated me a 7.5. Kevin rated me a 9. But guess what? That 7.5 or that 9. And this is not about Kevin, because he actually was very respectful on the show when I spoke to him. All you niggas that do that, y'all can take those ratings and shove it up your fucking assholes. Like,
okay, so she's telling the men, like Kevin Samuels, who rate black women online, can take the ratings and shove them up their asses. Basically trying to say they don't matter. But right before that, she proved that the rating that Kevin gave her mattered. Oh, he didn't rate me a 7. He actually rated me a 9. So that was an indication that she's still looking for black male validation, even though she's pretending that she's not. And while I think it's natural for black women to want the validation of men who look like them, I do believe because we don't get a lot of it, we're hyper focused on it and we become desperate for it. And that's problematic because it pushes them away even more. It doesn't work and we're just left looking stupid. And this is where we get into the meat of my reaction and why I wanted to do this video. Nicki, why did you even ask Kevin to rate you if you disagree with black men doing this on the internet to black women, doing what he does on the internet to black women. She tried to separate him and say, oh, this is not about Kevin. He was actually respectful to me. But he is still the type of man you are complaining about. He made this whole rating black woman thing popular. So why even entertain Kevin Samuels, especially being the celebrity that she is? And I didn't do a video about Nicki talking to Kevin the first time, but when it happened, I immediately was like, what? Why in the world would Nicki Minaj, of all people, be legitimizing Kevin Samuels? And a lot of y'all thought she was trolling him and she wasn't taking him seriously. No, she did nothing but make him even more relevant. And one could say, oh, it's just business, but Nicki does not need Kevin professionally. So it's not just business. This is entertainment for her. She's an actual celebrity. Kevin is more like an influencer. He hasn't quite made it to celebrity status. He might in the future, but he's not there yet. So when you're Nicki Minaj and you extend your platform to influencers from YouTube, you're helping to put them on whether you see it that way or not. You are legitimizing them. Just like Asian Doll and the other celebrities that go on Fresh and Fit's podcast. So if she's serious about what she's saying, she needs to stop giving them credibility. Not if she doesn't genuinely respect what they do. I mean, even with Joe Budden, he's cool with Kevin too. He agrees with a lot of what he says as well. That's why he got invited to his show. So she really shouldn't be on Joe Budden's podcast either. Let's be real. Nicki does not need a Joe Budden podcast. And look, maybe I'm expecting too much of Nicki. She's a female rapper. She is professionally connected to a lot of problematic men in the industry. She married a damn dusty ass sex offender. And I notice how it's usually a certain type of celebrity that Kevin Samuels attracts. Ironically, the very women and men he and his ilk complain about. Black women who get with thugs and criminals, like Nicki Minaj, baby mamas like Brittany Renner, 3, 4, and 5-time baby daddies like Future. Oh, men like Kevin and the men who follow him, they hate the Futures. They hate the Futures because they get so much pussy in the black community. So it's real interesting how Kevin is trying to do that whole classy, high value black man thing, but he ends up just being another hood celebrity. That's basically what he is. And to me, that's an indication of who really takes him seriously and who doesn't. So, I guess I shouldn't expect much from Nicki, but if you're gonna complain about these kind of men humiliating and embarrassing black women, why even attach yourself to them being who you are? I don't know. I guess this is just more proof that black women, no matter the tax bracket, have very low self-esteem, a low sense of self-worth, because if I were on her level, I would not give any of these men the time of day. That's just me though. Anyway, let's continue.
Like, I don't ever want a man to come back on this fucking internet and talk about some fucking lace front. Who the fuck y'all think y'all talking to? That's a conversation you have for your fucking woman behind closed doors. Y'all feel like y'all can constantly disrespect black women? Get the fuck out of here.
I love this.
And to the men that get on and laugh about black women because you mad because some black girl broke your fucking ugly ass heart, like the podcast clown. The podcast clown. I wish the fuck you would have tried that with me, bitch.
She's talking about Fresh and Fit here, but there's not much difference between them and Kevin Samuels. They learned from Kevin. A lot of these black men online trying to humble black women, they are the hurt incels that she's talking about. And these black women, quote unquote, bashing black men that she spoke of earlier, we are simply responding to the harassment and holding them accountable. This is a response to all the black woman bashing that was already here. And I was shocked too, just like Nicki when I came online. I had no idea it was this bad. So I can completely understand being out of touch, but she clearly knew that Kevin did ratings. So that lets me know that she's aware of what's going on. She's aware of which men are in what category. She had a problem with Kevin Samuels from the jump. But somewhere deep down inside, she wanted to speak with him and get his validation and wanted to know what he rates her. Black women are down bad.
I wish the fuck you would.
They wouldn't have tried it with you, and you wouldn't have been there.
Never.
Yeah.
But we ain't been gonna get that.
Okay, just like you wouldn't go on Fresh and Fit's channel, you shouldn't have spoken to Kevin Samuels, Nicki. You shouldn't have invited him on your show. And it's like, are you cool with them or not? And again, I know professionally she has to be cordial with some people, but what I'm seeing here, this is unnecessary. None of these men benefit her in any way professionally.
No, like, but my point is, you speak about these things in the privacy of your home with your woman. This is not embarrassed black woman season. That's not what this is. Who the fuck y'all think y'all talking to or about? Eat a dick. Eat a dick.
Okay, that's it. And I agree. I agree with what she's saying. But it's like, if you feel that way, why would you have talked to Kevin Samuels in the first place? And I'm saying all this to say to black women, do not clap too hard for Nicki. Again, I agree with some of what she said here, but her actions do not match a lot of what she's saying. Not to mention, and I have to bring this up, she also defended that white woman blackfishing not too long ago, or appropriating black culture, whatever she was doing. She also told black women in a song that you nappy-headed hoes need a Perminator. And now she's team black woman. And I've said it before, and y'all not gonna like when I say this, but I personally think that Nicki is one of those women who are black when convenient. A lot of y'all don't agree with me, but I think she leans towards that mixed race aesthetic, and I think she picks and chooses when to identify with black womanhood based on when it benefits her, or when she's triggered by something that a black man may say that applies to her, like wearing lace fronts. She's a sister when it's time to go up against Cardi B, for example. But when it comes to a whole white woman appropriating black culture or blackfishing, she excuses it. Women who excuse that shit are usually women who don't fully identify with blackness or see themselves as other. And I know the Barbs especially going to be triggered by me saying that, but I'm just calling it like I see it. Just like I do with all these other celebrities black women stand for. In my opinion, y'all do way too much praising of the bare minimum from these celebrities. It's just too much. So yeah, I had to say that. I know some of y'all big mad and you already typing in the comment section, but you'll be all right. Let me know what you think about this, and I'll catch up with you in the next video.